Have you ever paused in your daily routine and wondered why some people seem to age gracefully, maintain vitality well into their 70s and beyond, and avoid the persistent health issues others face? Is it genetics, diet, exercise? While all these play a role, there's a lesser-known secret that quietly determines how well we live and how long we thrive: personal hygiene habits that target the most overlooked parts of our bodies. If you believe that small, consistent care can lead to extraordinary transformation, and you value practical wisdom that nurtures dignity and vitality in your later years, take a moment to subscribe to Graceful Elderly and share this life-changing message with those you love. Together, we can spread knowledge that empowers every senior to live cleaner, healthier, and more confidently. Now, let's dive into the 5 forgotten body parts you should care for daily if you want to feel fresher, move easier, and possibly even live longer. Let's begin with a body part we use constantly, yet often forget to clean properly: the tongue. Many older adults believe that brushing their teeth is enough to maintain oral hygiene, but what they don't realize is that the tongue hosts over 700 types of bacteria. Throughout the day, it acts like a sponge, collecting food particles, dead cells, and debris. If not cleaned regularly, it becomes a breeding ground for bad breath, plaque, and even infections that can spread through the bloodstream. Dr. Emma Harris, a geriatric specialist, emphasizes that an unclean tongue can silently fuel heart disease, respiratory infections, and diabetes complications. It may sound dramatic, but the science is clear. Your mouth is the gateway to your entire system, and if it's not clean, your health suffers far beyond your breath. Fortunately, tongue care is simple. Every morning before breakfast, and again before bed, take a soft bristled toothbrush or tongue scraper and gently sweep from back to front 3 to 4 times. Avoid scraping too hard, just enough to remove the coating. Rinse thoroughly afterward. This 2-minute ritual can restore your taste, reduce oral inflammation, and leave you feeling more energized. Consider Linda, a 67-year-old woman who rediscovered the joy of her morning coffee after beginning this habit. "I hadn't realized how much flavor I'd lost," she shared. After a few weeks, everything tasted richer. Her dentist even noticed improvements in gum health. And beyond her taste buds, Linda says she feels lighter and more refreshed each morning, proof that this small act truly ripples through the whole body. Now that we've cleared the first hurdle, let's move downward to your feet. We stand, walk, and move through life on these 2 incredible structures, yet they're often the most neglected. A quick rinse in the shower is not enough, especially for older adults whose circulation is slower and skin more fragile. The spaces between your toes can become a warm, damp haven for fungi and bacteria, especially when mobility limits how well we bend or scrub. Cracks in the heels, buildup of calluses, and retained moisture can lead to fungal infections, diabetic ulcers, or even compromised balance, increasing the risk of falls. Dr. Harris compares the feet to the foundation of a home. If your feet are weak, everything built on them begins to shake, and she's right. Poor foot care leads to discomfort, instability, and a quiet withdrawal from daily movement. To properly clean your feet, sit comfortably with a basin of warm water. Use a soft cloth and mild soap. Scrub the tops, bottoms, and especially between your toes. Take your time. Think of it as honoring the structures that carry you through life. After washing, dry each toe individually and follow with a touch of lotion, never between the toes, just the tops and soles to prevent cracking. Thomas, a 73-year-old retiree, learned this lesson after a minor itch between his toes turned into a stubborn fungal infection. Once he began washing and drying his feet properly each night, not only did the infection clear, but his walking improved. "I felt stronger, steadier," he said. Something as simple as washing my feet gave me back my confidence. Next, we move to an area that's easy to overlook: the underarms. Most of us swipe on deodorant and move on. But did you know that your armpits are home to over 20 lymph nodes, a vital part of your body's detox system? Your lymph nodes work quietly, filtering waste and supporting your immune defenses. But when the skin above them is clogged with sweat, soap residue, or deodorant buildup, they become sluggish, and your body's ability to detox suffers. Older skin is more sensitive, prone to rashes and irritation, especially when exposed to harsh scrubbing or perfumed soaps. Instead of a rough scrub, use a soft washcloth and warm water to gently cleanse your underarms in circular motions. Think of it as polishing fine crystal, firm enough to lift residue, but gentle enough to protect delicate skin. Then comes drying. Don't rub, pat, dry carefully to avoid micro tears that allow bacteria in. Let your underarms breathe for a moment. Before applying any product, Charlotte, a 70-year-old grandmother, used to experience recurring irritation in her underarms until she changed her hygiene routine. Once I stopped scrubbing and started being gentler, everything changed, she said. I feel cleaner, and even my energy feels different. Now, let's lift our gaze to the nose, our breathing center, and yet another body part often ignored in daily care. Your nose filters more than 10,000 quarts of air each day, removing dust, allergens, and pathogens. But over time, without intentional cleansing, these particles build up, leading to congestion, sinus pressure, and shallow breathing. For seniors, especially those with allergies or dry environments, nasal hygiene becomes essential for good sleep. Improved oxygen intake and even mental clarity. Begin your morning with a nasal rinse, either by gently splashing warm water over your nostrils or using a saline spray. For deeper care, a neti pot can flush out mucus and pollutants. Avoid blowing both nostrils hard at once. Instead, gently clear one side at a time. James, a 69-year-old with lifelong allergies, said, I thought the congestion was just part of getting older. Then I started nasal rinses. Within a week, I was sleeping better, breathing deeper, and even walking felt easier. And finally, we come to the most surprising of all: the belly button. It seems insignificant. A little dip in the middle of the stomach. But studies show it's one of the dirtiest parts of the body, especially in older adults with limited flexibility or mobility. Moisture, lint, soap residue, and sweat gather here silently, creating a pocket of bacteria. For some, this results in a subtle but persistent musty odor, even when the rest of the body is clean. For others, it can lead to infections, redness, or itching. Cleaning your belly button is quick. While showering, use a soft cloth and gently wipe inside the navel. If needed, use a cotton swab with warm water or mild soap, then dry thoroughly. For deeper navels, tilt slightly forward to help water drain and prevent moisture from being trapped. Jane, a 78-year-old neighbor, had dealt with an odd smell for years without knowing the cause. I'd tried changing soaps and perfumes, but nothing worked until I cleaned my belly button. I couldn't believe such a small thing made such a big difference. These 5 body parts, your tongue, feet, underarms, nose, and belly button, are quiet gateways to health. By giving them just a few minutes of focused care each day, you do more than improve hygiene. You support your immune system, improve mobility, deepen your breath, and restore confidence in every encounter. Aging isn't about fading, it's about living wisely, caring deeply for the body that carries your wisdom, and honoring yourself with small daily acts of respect. As we grow older, we begin to notice how even the smallest changes in our routines can dramatically affect how we feel. The truth is, the body doesn't just age, it adapts. It slows, it shifts. And in these changes lie both risks and opportunities. When we overlook certain areas of care like the 5 body parts we discussed earlier, we quietly allow toxins, bacteria, and inflammation to build. But when we pay attention, when we begin to tend to these areas with intention, we often witness something remarkable, a subtle, powerful return of strength, balance, and peace. It's not just about feeling fresh. It's about building daily habits that silently fight off disease, promote independence, and preserve dignity. Let's start with the most direct line of connection between hygiene and health: infection prevention. As the immune system weakens. With age, the body becomes more susceptible to infections that younger bodies might easily fight off. What many people don't realize is that most infections in older adults begin in or around areas of poor hygiene. And more often than not, the early signs are mistaken for fatigue, confusion, or even aging itself. Let's revisit the tongue. An unclean tongue allows harmful bacteria to flourish in the mouth. These bacteria can enter the bloodstream through tiny cracks in the gums or even through dentures. Once in the blood, they travel to the heart, increasing the risk of endocarditis, an infection of the heart's inner lining. For seniors with pacemakers or heart conditions, this risk becomes even more serious. Beyond that, the bacteria can affect the lungs. Seniors who experience dry mouth or swallow improperly during sleep often inhale these germs into the respiratory system, leading to aspiration pneumonia, a major cause of hospitalization and death among the elderly. Regular tongue cleaning, combined with good oral care, doesn't just freshen breath, it can prevent hospital visits and protect the heart and lungs. Next, let's look again at the feet, not just as points of odor or mobility, but as sensitive indicators of underlying health conditions. Poor foot hygiene can lead to skin breakdown, fungal infections, and pressure sores. For seniors with diabetes or poor circulation, these small wounds can become life-threatening ulcers. What starts as a bit of dryness or redness can spiral into an infection that threatens the entire leg, often leading to amputation, if not caught in time. But it's not just about disease, it's about independence. When foot pain develops, movement becomes difficult. Seniors begin avoiding walks, then errands, then social visits. They lose muscle strength, balance, and confidence. Within months, the decline becomes noticeable, and loved ones worry. But the decline often began not with a medical diagnosis, but with neglected, aching feet. That's why washing, drying, moisturizing, and checking your feet daily is a non-negotiable. Catch a crack before it bleeds. Treat a sore before it spreads. See your feet not as distant parts of your body, but as your roots keeping you grounded, upright, and connected to life. Now, consider the underarms again, not just for sweat or scent, but for their role in lymphatic health. The lymphatic system is your body's internal drainage system. It clears out waste, bacteria, and toxins. But unlike blood, lymph fluid doesn't have a pump. It relies on movement, massage, and clean passageways to flow. When we clean and care for our underarms gently, we stimulate the lymph nodes, support natural detox, and reduce the burden on organs like the liver and kidneys. For seniors dealing with medication buildup, fatigue, or low immunity, this gentle, daily stimulation helps keep the body's internal pathways clear and functioning. Let's not forget the nose. It's not just a breathing organ, it's a filter. And when that filter is clogged, the entire body suffers. Dirty nasal passages trap allergens, dust, bacteria, and viruses. For seniors with asthma, coughed, or weakened lungs, these irritants can trigger inflammation, coughing, or infections that linger for weeks. Nasal cleansing Even something as simple as a saline spray each morning helps reduce the risk of upper respiratory infections, which for older adults often lead to complications like pneumonia or bronchitis. More than that, clean breathing leads to better oxygenation, which means sharper thinking, deeper sleep, and calmer moods. And finally, the belly button. It may seem minor, but chronic moisture or bacterial buildup in the navel can lead to rashes, yeast infections, and persistent body odor. In rare cases, infections in the belly button have led to systemic issues when left untreated. But more often, the real cost is emotional. Seniors feel embarrassed, avoid intimacy, or assume their scent is something they must endure. But they don't. Because aging with dignity means understanding that our bodies are not betraying us, they're communicating with us. And when we listen, when we respond with care and consistency, they reward us with more years of comfort. Movement and presence beyond physical health. There's another layer to all of this emotional well-being. There's a quiet shame that creeps in when we feel we're no longer in control of our body. When we notice others standing a little farther back, or when we catch a faint scent and wonder, is that me? That shame isn't just about smell. It's about visibility. It's about belonging. It's about the fear that we are slowly becoming invisible. But hygiene routines offer more than physical cleanliness. They restore control. They offer a sense of rhythm, structure, and pride. Seniors who maintain consistent self-care routines often report better mood, sharper focus, and higher self-esteem, because it's not just about removing odor. It's about reinforcing self-respect, about saying each morning, I'm here. I'm worth this care. I deserve to feel good in my own skin. This sense of worth changes everything from how you move through the grocery store to how you greet your grandchildren. You stop shrinking back. You start leaning in. You start showing up, not just for others, but for yourself and the beautiful part. You don't have to overhaul your life. Just 5 minutes, 5 areas, 5 moments of mindfulness a day. That's the power of hygiene, not just as routine, but as ritual. A daily affirmation that you're still in charge of your health, your presence, and your legacy. It's one thing to know what to do, it's another to actually do it. For many seniors, the biggest barrier to better hygiene isn't unwillingness. It's mobility, energy, memory, or even fear of slipping in the bathroom. Some find it difficult to bend over and wash their feet. Others struggle with shaky hands that make brushing or rinsing harder. And for those living alone, the idea of managing all these routines can feel overwhelming. But the good news is, these small daily rituals can be adapted for every ability level, and the impact they have on well-being remains just as powerful. With the right tools, environment, and gentle support, anyone at any age can reclaim comfort, freshness, and dignity. Let's begin by addressing mobility concerns for seniors with back pain, arthritis, or joint stiffness. Reaching the feet, back, or even behind the ears can be difficult, even dangerous. But rather than skipping those areas, you can bring them closer to you by adapting your environment and choosing supportive tools for foot care. Instead of standing in the shower, use a basin of warm water and a long-handled sponge or soft brush. Sit in a sturdy chair, take your time, and focus not on speed, but on presence. If gripping is a challenge, wrap a washcloth over a sponge and secure it with a rubber band. It's softer on the hands and still effective. Drying your feet afterward is essential. Use a reacher tool or towel attached to a wooden spoon to gently pat between the toes. Even better, use a blow dryer on a cool setting while seated. No bending, no strain for underarm care. Use a handheld mirror if vision is limited, and opt for soft, unscented wipes on days when a full bath isn't possible. The goal is consistency, not perfection. Every bit helps when it comes to oral care. Tremors or hand weakness can make brushing uncomfortable. Switch to an electric toothbrush with a wide, rubber grip, or wrap your current toothbrush handle with foam tubing or a tennis ball. These modifications make holding the brush easier and allow for gentler movement with better results for tongue cleaning. A soft scraper with a wide handle is ideal. If even that feels difficult, simply swishing with salt water or diluted hydrogen peroxide each morning and night can help reduce bacterial buildup. Now, let's talk about memory support and habit formation. Many seniors living with early stage memory decline or cognitive confusion want to independent independent, but often forget steps or skip routines unintentionally. One of the most powerful tools here is visual routine charts. Simple, illustrated reminders placed in the bathroom that show each hygiene step in order. For example, 1. Brush teeth. 2. Clean tongue. 3. Rinse mouth. 4. Wash underarms. 5. Clean behind ears. 6. Use a warm cloth on feet. 7. Dry body folds. These visual cues support memory without shame and empower seniors to complete their routines with pride. Another strategy is pairing hygiene with another habit you never forget. Maybe it's brushing your teeth while listening to a favorite radio program, or washing your feet before your nightly cup of tea. This method, called habit stacking, makes hygiene feel less like a task and more like a rhythm anchored in comfort and familiarity. For seniors with mild confusion, caregivers or family can gently support these routines without taking them over. Saying, "Let's freshen up together before breakfast," or handing a warm cloth rather than giving instructions fosters dignity and agency. Everyone deserves to feel that they are still in control of their own care. Let's now explore bathroom safety, another crucial piece of the puzzle. Many seniors avoid washing thoroughly, not because they don't want to, but because they fear falling. And that fear is valid. Slips in the bathroom are one of the leading causes of injury in older adults. Here's how to make hygiene safe and soothing again. Install grab bars in the shower and near the toilet. Use a non-slip mat inside and outside the tub. Place a shower chair in the stall to sit while washing. Keep a basket of essential items within arm's reach. To avoid bending, use a handheld shower head for better control and to reach trickier making. The bathroom, a sanctuary, not a danger zone, helps reduce fear and encourages more frequent, more effective hygiene for seniors in wheelchairs or with more advanced limitations. Sponge baths with pre-moistened, fragrance-free cleansing wipes are an excellent option. Wipe from cleanest to dirtiest areas, starting with the face and neck, then arms and chest, then the lower body. End with feet and perineal areas. This method may not involve soap and water, but it can still leave the skin fresh, bacteria-free, and comfortable. Even simple actions like changing into clean clothes every day, switching out socks, and washing hands after meals and restroom use form a protective barrier against odor and infection. These aren't just chores, they're acts of love. Small rituals of respect for the body that has served you through decades of joy, sorrow, laughter, and work. Let's not forget the role of family and community in supporting hygiene for many seniors, particularly those living alone. It can feel embarrassing to ask for help with personal care, but being proactive, inviting a trusted family member to assist once a week, or hiring a gentle home health aide for a few hours can make all the difference. Families should approach hygiene support with kindness, not correction. Replace phrases like, "You forgot to shower again," with, "Let's freshen up together so you feel your best." Shame never helps, but support does. It builds trust, confidence, and better outcomes. Churches, senior centers, and community Groups can also play a role by offering wellness classes, hygiene kits, or quiet counseling. Aging doesn't mean isolation. It means inviting others into your journey with grace. One final note: emotions matter. For some, hygiene stirs memories of dependence, vulnerability, or illness. But when reframed as a way to honor the body and restore dignity, it becomes powerful. It becomes healing. Every swipe of a cloth, every rinse of a foot, every gentle massage of a knee is a prayer, a promise, a declaration. My body still matters. My presence still matters. I am still worthy of care. When you reach a certain age, there's a quiet shift that happens. You've spent decades raising children, working long hours, supporting others, managing households. Then one day, life slows down. The world doesn't call on you as urgently. The mirror shows new lines. Some days, your body aches in unfamiliar ways. And slowly, you start to wonder, am I still needed? Am I still seen? The answer is yes. And it begins with how you treat yourself. You see, hygiene is never just about cleanliness. It's about respect for the body that has carried you through joy and sorrow, through seasons of love and loss, strength and surrender. Every drop of warm water, every gentle scrub, every breath of fresh air after a thorough cleansing isn't just for your skin. It's for your soul. That's why, for seniors, a daily hygiene ritual is far more than routine. It's a lifeline to confidence, human connection, and emotional healing. Let's begin with something often overlooked: the emotional power of being close to others. Grandchildren, neighbors, caregivers, they all feel it. When you're clean, you feel open. You invite closeness. You welcome hugs, conversations, eye contact. But when you worry about how you smell, or how your skin looks, or whether your clothes are fresh, you pull back. You withdraw. And others, sensing that hesitation, may pull away too. But when you care for yourself, when you gently wash behind your ears, tend to your feet, clean your mouth, and underarms, you restore that invisible invitation. Come close. I am here. I'm ready to connect. This changes everything. You stop shrinking. You start standing taller. You begin to re-enter spaces you once avoided: church gatherings, family dinners, group walks. You laugh louder. You sit a little closer. You remember what it feels like to be part of something again. Next, let's talk about creating a space that honors you. Your bathroom, your bedroom. These are not just functional spaces. They can be sanctuaries. Fill them with light. Use towels that are soft to the touch. Place a chair near your sink if you need to sit. Keep your hygiene items organized, easy to reach, and labeled clearly. Put on gentle music. Place a plant on the windowsill. Create an atmosphere where self-care feels like a gift, not a task. Instead of rushing, move slowly. Enjoy the warmth of the water. Breathe deeply. Look at your reflection, not with criticism, but with kindness. Say to yourself, I am still here. I still matter. Let that be your daily mantra. Even small gestures become sacred. Lighting a candle. Rubbing lotion on your arms. Placing on clean clothes. This isn't vanity, it's visibility. You are choosing to be fully present in your body, not hiding from the world, but greeting it. For seniors who have experienced illness, injury, or grief, this practice can be deeply healing. When everything feels out of control, hygiene becomes the one thing you can claim, shape, and trust. It brings rhythm to the day. It says, this is mine. This is within my power. And when you feel strong in that ritual, it spills over. Your grandchildren feel it when they curl up beside you. Your doctor senses it when you speak with clarity and assurance. Your friends notice it when you walk into the room with a sense of ease, not shame. You're no longer defined by your age or your ailments. You are defined by your presence. And that presence is magnetic. Many seniors worry they are becoming invisible. But invisibility often begins when we stop honoring ourselves. The world reflects what we project. When we step forward with care and dignity, the world responds in kind. And this isn't just about today. It's about legacy. What if your greatest teaching to your children and grandchildren isn't in your words, but in your quiet daily choices? What if they learn, through your example, that aging doesn't have to mean decline but transformation? They'll remember the way you gently cleaned your hands before holding theirs, the scent of your fresh clothes, the softness of your skin, the calm in your voice when you said, "Let's take care of ourselves today." You're planting seeds. Seeds of dignity, of hope, of generational strength. And so as you tend to your feet, your tongue, your underarms, your breath, your skin, you are tending to much more. You are tending to your story. You are tending to your place in the circle of life. Let this be the era where you return to yourself not as someone fading, but as someone arriving fully into wisdom, grace, and quiet power, because your body still deserves care. Your spirit still deserves kindness. Your presence still deserves to be felt in every room you enter. So begin again. One warm cloth, one gentle breath, one quiet reminder, I am worthy of care. I am worthy of connection. I am still, beautifully, fully alive.